Zion Williamson, guys, cleared for activity out 2 weeks. He's originally strained his right hamstring on January 2nd, but he re-injured it before the All-Star break as he was prepping for his return. A 2-week reevaluation would be April 5th, the Pelicans having just 3 regular season games remaining, at that point. So Kendrick Perkins, listen, Zion Williamson, remember his sneaker blew up and
at
the
Duke.
whole at Duke, and when he was still in college, it was like, yeah, he's so explosive at his size. Can his frame take it, right? Well, not so far in his career. Kendrick Perkins, ESPN NBA analyst on NBA Countdown. Listen to this.
I would actually trade Zion.
To who?
I would find I would find someone and trade him because, again, you just asked the question about basically, can you trust him to be your franchise guy? And since he came in the league, no, because you can't trust that he's going to be available on the floor. And so when I look at this situation, I'm like, okay, this is starting to be a trend. Like every single season, we like, oh, Zion and lost weight. Zion looks healthy. Then all of a sudden, this happens. If I'm the Pelicans, I have Brandon Ingram, I have CJ McCollum, I have a bunch of young pieces that are over there playing extremely hard, that has a bright future. I would actually consider trading him this offseason, to be honest with you.
Jay?
I don't see anything wrong with what he said.
What are you going to get in return?
You think you don't have a trade partner for Zion?
I didn't say you don't have a trade partner. But if I'm a realistic GM and I'm on the opposite side of this, and I've seen that he's played 119 games,
well, that's the problem.
287 in 4 years, 39% of his games. I know what the upside is, but I haven't seen this guy healthy for a full season. He's been hurt every year.
I think you will get
that's the chance you take right there, though. That's the big elephant in the room, so to speak. Is
I don't do that.
Is he available? Like, can you get Max, like you said, a trade partner? Can I convince you to take my bad luggage? Because at the end of the day, why are you trying to get rid of him?
I'll tell you who's going to take him. This is going to be the market for Zion. If you're looking to get close to a fair deal given his level of talent, it's going to be a small to medium market or otherwise a market that has a hard time getting their hands on a blue chip player, right? By the way, even a place like, say, Dallas, some place where you go who already has a star, you want to get another star, but for whatever reason, it's hard to acquire those guys. I think Indiana, markets like that.
Would you as a Knick, would you take him? Would you take him if Randall, if the Knicks move Randall and whatever else and send Randall?
I think the Knicks right now have something good going, and I think they're in a position to land some superstars in the not-too-distant future for the first time ever, right? So I wouldn't mess with if I was the Knicks, I might not mess with it. Maybe yes, maybe no. But if I was Portland, if I was Indiana, if I was even maybe Dallas, as I mentioned, some team that thinks – can't usually get a guy like that, or I have a guy like Lillard or Luka. Yeah, the guy's been hurt a lot, but we've seen with Embiid, Jay, just because you start out that way doesn't mean you can't eventually become basically an everyday player.
There's no way in hell I'm trading him.
There's no way you're trading him.
I'm not trading him.
Right.
Like you're not trading him or trading for him.
I'm not trading him. If I'm the Pelicans, no.
Why
I'm not.
though? Why though?
Because I think the upside is too high for him. The dude, when he is healthy, is averaging 29, 7 rebounds, and shooting 60% from the field. Like, he is an elite player. And we gave him a rookie max extension, and I made the decision to go with him instead of Ja Morant. I have to swallow that pill. I have to own that. But, like, right now, to give up on that, especially, like, when he's been in the league for 3.5, 4 years, I still think the upside is too high. And I'm a market like New Orleans. I'm not sure when I'm going to get a talent like that again.
So what if he gives you 39% in the next 2 years? What you going to do?
Well, I have to take that bet. I have to make that calculated bet. Key.
So you're willing to take the risk?
I think I have to. I'm invested in it. I've been with it for 3 years now.
So he's scheduled to come back.
Yep, he got a rookie max extension, 5 years, $193 million. Starts 2023, 2024.
So he's scheduled to come back and play, but if he comes back and play and he's less than himself or whatever the case is, and then you look into early next year and you have the same thing happen where he's missing time, you're not going to have your reservations and think, well, maybe, man, it's time to move him?
Well, I have a lot of reservations. And if we get to the end of next year and he gets hurt again, then obviously you have to look at it. But I'm saying, like, I have another year that I give Zion Williamson.
Let me bring up Embiid for a second again, because Embiid started his career. He went third in the draft instead of first overall because of injury history in college and concerns going forward. In his first 2 years, he didn't play at all. And then he started playing, and he was playing 50-something games a year, missing a lot of games. And then when he finally made the playoffs, Al Horford gave him the business, even as he started to improve. Does he have the fire and all this kind of stuff? And maybe his body's just too injury-prone. He can't practice himself into good enough shape to really go
Max,
in the games.
His first year, he played 31 games.
Who?
JWill Embiid.
First year that he played. His first 2 years, he didn't play.
Yeah, 2016, 2017, 31 games.
Right.
Okay. And then 2017, 18, 63, then 64, then 51, 51.
Yeah, but it's averaging more or less through the same point of his career what Zion's doing, not playing a lot.
But that was a plan in place for him.
But the reason
Max,
I bring up
they came in knowing that he was injured.
Got it. But the reason I bring up Embiid is, on the one hand, you look at him as an example of, well, just because it starts out a certain way doesn't mean he can't get to be a mostly everyday player superstar, MVP guy. But on the other hand, Embiid does not rely on explosiveness, right? He has his size. He has footwork. Zion relies on explosive athletic ability, Jay. Do you think that he has enough skills or could develop enough skills to offset that once it starts to diminish? Because if you don't think that, and he goes through another year of not really playing a lot, probably it is time to move on, right?
I go back to that original question, though. What do you think you can get in return for Zion Williamson? Because if I'm the opposite side of that negotiation table, I know that he is injury prone. Like, I'm taking the risk, so I'm not giving up a lot of my major assets for him in return. So I think the market wouldn't be as favorable as people would think, because you think about the upside, but then, like, I'm not willing to take that risk.
If you're Portland, you wouldn't want Zion Williamson?
Yeah, sure you would.
You got to get Damian Lillard some help. Apparently, he doesn't want to leave, right? Or he's not that kind of player. And the primetime free agents are not going to Portland. It's up in, the corner of the country, late games, the whole thing. So like, but it's true. That's why they don't.
No, I know. It's
guys,
just funny.
Right?
It's in late games. I'm sleep.
Yeah, right. It's the late games in L.A., but you're the Lakers. You're the premier brand. The sun's shining. It's a lot different, right?
So the Pacific Northwest.
Pacific Northwest is different, Key. The weather, the whole thing. So if you're them, Jay, I would take a swing. You can't have Anthony Simons. You can't have a couple of guys. But otherwise, here, take these draft picks, take some pieces that, basically clear the decks and let me get Dame Lillard and Zion Williamson and one or two other guys and start making a run, Yeah.
Look, I know it always comes down to this question, like, do you think you can win a championship with Zion Williamson, which I think is just like the most erroneous question of all time. Yeah, you can. You can win a championship with Zion Williamson.
As your
the main guy, though, Jay?
Second best, third best, what?
Well, he's
either the main guy, I guess.
He's a key cog.
One of your max contracts.
Let me ask you a question. You think he would be the main guy right now with the Pelicans, or is it Brandon Ingram? If you need a shot, how do you define the main guy? Is the main guy a guy that's a dagger that can make a shot down the end? Because I'm giving the ball to B.I.
I was going to say I'll give it to Brandon Ingram.
All day long. Now,
I would say, I would ask, could he be one of your max contract players and you win a championship?
If he's healthy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, but when you're talking about max contract players, max contract players, max. When you say it's like a max, a lot of maxes. When you have 2 to 3 of those guys, chances are you're going to be right in the stuff.
Yeah, right. By the way, they were at the top of the Western Conference before he got hurt, y'all. Don't forget, it was only several months ago, they were the team in the Western Conference.
So he's got obvious value when he's on the court,
yes.
Of course.
So, yes, I think it's legit when Zion Williamson is healthy. The question is if he's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. That gives you 2 or 3 games left in the regular season. Do you think him coming back on a minutes restriction that the Pelicans, considering how open the Western Conference is, can make a run? That's the question.
Let me ask you a stupid question.
So you're going to ask a question to a question?
Yeah. Okay. Can they make a run? They're not going to win a championship this year, right? They ain't going to make a championship.
You're going to ask me the same question I just asked you?
No. I'm going to ask you a stupid question. Pelicans and Grizz say, let's redo this draft. We'll trade Zion for Ja. Who says no? Who says no?
We're going to do that all over again?
Yeah, we're not going to go back there.
You're taking Ja Morant. Ja's 1 and Zion's 2, in spite of the recent difficulties.
If we did it all over again and the Lakers taking Tatum or Ball, I'd be like, come on, man. Right? The Portland Trailblazers taking Michael Jordan or what was my man? The Trailblazers took instead of MJ. No, not Sampson. Sam Bowie.
Sam Bowie.
Yeah. Well, Olajuwon went 1 though.
No, but I'm saying Portland took Sam Bowie instead of Michael Jordan.
You know,
if you did it all over again, do you think that Portland would rather have Jordan?
You know the famous quote about that was someone called Bobby Knight and said, who do you think we should take? I forgot who in Portland, the GM, called Bobby Knight, said, who do you think we should take? He said, Jordan. He goes, but we need a center. He said, draft Jordan, play him at center. Like, just kidding. I don't care what you need. The answer is MJ.
I mean, I get the main question. If you're Trajan Langdon, if you're David Griffin, and you're in a situation like I get what it looks like, and trust me, it's legitimate. Perk has a legitimate answer. Like it's not unreasonable to say you wouldn't trade Zion. For me, I'm so invested in it. I need to see it through for another year.
Some people say
and by the way, my career is staked on this right now. I feel like if you're David Griffin, you drafted him over Ja. That's your career. If you trade him, essentially, and he kicks off, like that's a huge loss.
As Key said, Key voiced the philosophy: trade someone a year too early rather than a year too late. And Jay, you're saying, hold on, let's see if this guy can stay healthy enough to be worth it. Because obviously, when he's on the court,
and maybe because I come from a pro football background, you know,
yeah, man, they say see ya.
He's like, get 2 years.
Not for long. NFL.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.